information often neglected in vast-reaching histories. The result is How to Survive History, a detailed, practical manual for surviving the greatest catastrophes and adventures in this planet's history. It's a how-to for finding food, shelter, and warmth in the face of history's most spectacular disasters. I've scoured every resource to come up with the likeliest way to survive each destination. I've read the diaries of the survivors, studied the accidents, and read the postmortems. I've looked at old maps, or made my own when there weren't any, and I've published them here where applicable. I've asked the world's leading experts what they would do if they found themselves at the center of these great apocalypses, and report their answers, illuminating their disagreements and explaining their reasoning. I've taken no speculative liberties save the necessary when history has obscured the precise details. There's no way to know, for example, the timing and path for every ejected lava bomb during the Pompeii eruption, and therefore it's possible the path I recommend would place you directly beneath a falling hunk of smoldering rock. I can only tell you the path where this is least likely to happen. In other words, survival is not guaranteed. This guide is not a work of fiction or fantasy, save, of course, for the time-traveling reader's presence. It remains as faithful to actual events as the historical record allows. I have not fictionalized any of the events, nor have I conjured any dangers. I have not skirted any uncomfortable truths, nor conveniently ignored any threats. I have, however, made a few assumptions. I have assumed that, like any good traveler, you are familiar with the local language, customs, and dress where applicable. Xenophobia runs deep in human history. In many of these locations, eras, and cultures, assimilation isn't just useful or courteous, it's life-saving. I have also assumed you're up to date on your vaccinations. The whooping cough vaccine may seem like an annoying anachronism now, but in many times and places, you're going to have a bad time if you neglect it. Finally, to avoid redundancy, I have skipped over some dangers inherent to nearly all eras past. For example, don't drink the water. Do assume your doctor has little idea what they're doing, and when meeting a stranger, remember that historical rates of interpersonal violence approach war zone-like levels. In short, this book should be read as an entirely serious attempt to guide a visitor through our planet's greatest catastrophes and adventures using the benefits of hindsight and modern science. It's written for the modern time-traveling reader who wants to witness the most dramatic, destructive, and dangerous events in history and come back alive. Good luck! Chapter 1. How to Survive the Dinosaur Age. Let's say you want to visit the era when the most powerful predators in history attacked the largest land animals the planet has ever seen. You want to see 80-ton reptiles, carnivores with jaws comparable to a car shredder, and an animal the size of a giraffe take flight. So, you travel back 70 million years to the Mesozoic era, back to the dinosaur age. In the warmed climate, you'll feel the sticky heat of the Louisiana bayous as far north as Montana. You'll notice the changed geography, the absence of Rocky Mountains and the Sierra Nevada, the sea covering the Midwestern United States, the island of India. Grass will have only recently evolved, so you'll see a few blades but no grasslands. Only ferns, ficus, figs, cycads, and ginkgos, along with large trees and dense forests. You'll also see the famous Tyrannosaurus rex. Unfortunately, it will see you too. You might think your only chance would be to hide, stand still, play dead, or climb. But surprisingly, shockingly, recent evidence suggests that you might be able to run from the most powerful predator to ever walk this planet. At least if you know how to use your biggest advantage, your size. If a mouse fell down a 1,000-foot mine shaft, the renowned evolutionary biologist